Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let me just say a few things. Number one, I have already tried to record this video 3 different times, and in total, that comes out to over 3 hours worth of content. Now, that's why you guys did not see a video from me yesterday. I was doing a bit more research, and I caught myself on an error in the first recording. I was happy about that, so I tried to re-record. The second recording and third, I do seem to be hearing a strange sound in the background. I think I have that figured out, so hopefully this time I actually got things sorted. Now, I caught myself in a mistake and I was actually very proud of myself for doing that. But now, let us try this again. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Deku, he had his familia taking form. We had Ochako, we had Momo, we had Kirishima, Bakugo, and we also had Mina. Now, Deku, most of these people are loyal to him. Most of them have trust in him because they have had time to build it with him. And Deku, he knows that Ochako, being a thief, her loyalty is only to herself and whoever pays very well. Now, Ochako, she is quite intrigued to have met Deku. Deku, he definitely has an interesting aura around him. But along with that, he knows and has proved to her that Momoyaruzu is a real person. She isn't just some made-up story. And that definitely could see benefits for her in the future. Now, Deku made a deal for her that sounds a little too sweet to be true. And that does mean quite a lot. If something is usually sounds too good to be true, that means it is. And Ochako, she's well aware. There are some things that even she needs to walk away from. But this could potentially be good or bad. And right now, she's erring on the side of caution. Now, with that being said, let's currently pick up with Deku and his crew. Him and the 3 little informants he was able to bring to his side. Bakugo, Mina, and Kirishima. Right now the 4, they do just step out of a car. That has pulled itself to a stop. And they're actually so Deku does a turn. Right now him and Bakugo are going to get out of the right side of the car, as Mina and Kirishima do get out of the left side. And right now, the people sitting at the doorway, they do still going to look at the 4. Right now them going to radio in and ask questions, as one of the men there do to hold their weapon up to the 4. Now, Deku does a little walk over towards the trunk. That being where, someone, they pop it open and Deku does a grab onto the crate. Him going to turn and walk over to the door. As currently there is where the men, they do still have their guns drawn and pointed. This being where Bakugo does a step forward with an invitation in his hand. And the men, they actually just don't look at the invitation and look at how many people are supposed to be here. And this does look quite interesting. The invitation says it was for 6 people, but there's only 4 of them. And Deku would go to confirm. Some of their associates are on a different matter right now. And that does mean quite a lot. Now, this is quite intriguing. And that to say a lot. The man going to turn and pound on the door once, waiting a second, twice, waiting 2 seconds, and then 4 times. Right now the door being pulled open as the 40 to walk inside, and someone watched them enter the building. Now, the moment they are brought into the building, there actually is a line of people who, they just all going to stand there in the front and bow. A man walking up to Deku and taking the rather oddly large box from his hands, expressing about how they'll be taking care of the devil fruits from here on out, and they're quite happy that they are here at the auction. And Bakugo, he does stare on, right now him remaining silent, as Deku and all of them, they are brought to a room to watch the auction. Now, currently Deku, all of them, they do don't sit there, and Bakugo does go to watch Deku, who does actually stand in front of the glass window that does separate the room from the auction room. And it does mean quite a lot. A one-way mirror. That's certainly interesting. And currently, Bakugo, he watches Deku sit down and stare at the room. Him going to express, as a timer currently is overhead. You know, this certainly is intriguing. Hmm? What is? You expect things to go a certain way, don't you? I expect them to go the way I think they will. These people don't cut corners, Bakugo, though they are a little trusting. Hm. You say that, but what exactly do you think is going to happen here tonight? I mean, if I'm right, if you're right, then you're probably right, Bakugo. Though, we do need to err on the side of caution for right now. Right now, we're already in place. We're just waiting for our mutual associates to get their places sorted out. Afterwards, we'll get ready. Besides, I'm fairly certain they're going to try and move all the devil fruits at once. They wouldn't want to have to open a secure vault many times. You say that, but I know. Bucko, like any auction house you've ever been in, they have a safe room, a secure room. And with the fact that Quarks exist and devil fruits exist, those rooms only got more heavily fortified and more armored to the teeth. Do you expect someone to be able to bust through that wall? Because I don't. Hmm. Maybe, but still. You can't just say that this will all go down right. We don't even have that much data on all this. Quit worrying, Bakugo. I'm gonna turn. And Mina's walk up, expressing. The guys never really led them astray. She can at least say that with some confidence. Izuku, though, he does need to at least know. That confidence can get you killed. It's always quite funny to watch ego kill someone. And Deku's so I'm gonna turn and smile at Mina. I'm gonna turn back and look at the table to his right. Him bringing his hand out and grabbing onto the brandy there. I'm gonna pop it open. I'm gonna take a whiff of it before he's gonna pour himself a glass, asking everybody if they'd all like to have a glass or a drink with him, since they all do need to calm their nerves. And everyone, they do so I'm gonna walk over. And Deku, well, that's all happening. We do actually cut to the people in charge of the auction. The person who's carrying that rather strangely square box. Now, they went to a secure room underground, and they're quite happy when the elevator is going to open, and they do step forwards and see what exactly is happening. They step forwards and go to the security door, putting down the box as they do enter a 6-digit code. They do then go to enter their hand scan, and they do step forwards, scanning their eye, and also going to whisper a phrase into the microphone. As the door, it does at least creak open. The metal locks, going to rear and move the rather cumbersome door. Now, the person, they then go to bend down and grab onto the crate once more, them picking it up and walking it directly into the vaults, after the door took 10 seconds to open. Now, we do actually have where the person, they do get to step inside and turn, walking over, setting down the box, and opening it up. Them going to see the devil fruit inside, pulling it out and going to turn around. They have a bit of a ceremony for all of this. And this fruit, it could potentially be very powerful. They're going to walk over and sit down somewhere. And right now, they actually are hoping for a few other things. They have a bit of devil fruits here tonight. They're quite happy. It took some convincing on some people to give over these fruits. And, well, they definitely do have quite a bit here. 6 fruits here. 3 of them very powerful. And 3 which are rather nice, but could produce varying results. And that does mean quite a number of things. Now, the person, they do turn back around, walking over to the table and putting the top back onto the crate. And right now, they do walk out of the room and close the vaults. And we do actually have Ochako. Ochako is still somewhat waiting on the signal. And that does mean quite a lot. Ochako waits about 2 minutes, hoping that does mean everything has gotten properly sorted out. Now, Deku, Deku does go to try and tell her a few more things. As right now, let's actually cut to the mirror world, where Ochako and Momo, the two have definitely been looking around at quite a few things. Now, Momo's mirror world is rather different from the one you probably see the user use, since I'm assuming everyone looks a little different, or everyone's version looks a little different. Now, with that, Momo, she currently starts to walk around, her looking around to see all the mirrors. And right now, Ochako, she's walking around as well, tethered to Momo on a line, and she does look around rather surprised. There's gotta be mirrors from, what, all over the world here? She just, this place is huge, it's massive, and it's a little concerning to her. She doesn't know how far her abilities go, but if she has the power of mirrors, then those things are all over the damn place. People don't even realize how many times they stare at one or well, it's just so crazy. And or no, Momo going to actually turn. Her going to actually grab onto the line and pull it to get Ochako's attention. And Ochako is going to turn and look back at Momo. Her not only distracted by the mirrors, but also what looks like the endless void underneath them. The walkway that just is there and the nothingness around. It's kind of scary here. And that's mean quite a lot of things. And Ochako does a turn back. Momo actually looking around and at least trying to report back in that they have yet to find the mirror. Hurry up. It says the auction begins in 3 minutes. You sure? Very sure. I got a timer right in front of me. 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay, we're gonna turn. And mute her calms, looking to get Ochako and bring her finger up to her mouth. And Ochako's a bit confused. Right now, Momo gonna turn and express, walking up to a mirror. She'd like to know exactly where a certain photo is. Now, Ochako does a stir on, and Momo, she's gonna watch as the mirror just don't start to ripple again. And then it actually does start to talk, and that does alarm Ochako. Well, what are you looking for exactly, Momo? It's been a long time since you actually tried to talk to any of us. What the fuck? Listen, I'm looking for a picture of a cat at the bottom of a wooden box. There's light, and it's rather a small mirror. Really? Um, hang on. Now, some rumors do start to pop up. Emma was to turn and look around, yelling out that she only needed one of them to speak. And all of them do start to die down, falling quiet. And right now, Momo does a turn back, the mirror expressing exactly where to go, how far down, and what to look for. And that does quite mean a lot of things. Momo does a turn and tell the mirror, thank you. It's going to ask her if she does want to talk about anything else, or if she does need help anymore. Her flat saying no. And that does mean quite a lot. The mirror gonna fall silent again, as Ochako and Momo, they do a turn. Momo trying to ask what that Ochako trying to ask what that was, as currently they do start to run down the hallway. Now, we do actually have where they do get to the mirror. Ochako going to activate her powers, and right now Momo gonna step forwards, bring her hand onto the doorway. Her opening the door, as Ochako does a step through it. Her and I'm gonna float into the air and currently into the secure vault, where the box on the table and also the false bottom get pushed up, and another pillow is gonna move. Ochako right now gonna float rather fast into the room as the top of the box also is pushed off. And Ochako, she actually does go to look around. Her going to increase her weight a bit and at least be halfway through the mirror. Her gonna turn and set down the pillow with the false bottom, and then gonna float back all the way up into the room. Her gonna look around. Okay, right now her actually still gonna weight in herself a bit more and actually land on the table. Her going to have her feet there as she does go to, huh? What do you see? I don't see. Actually, there's more than a handful here. More than five? Five? You're serious? More than we expected. Yeah, I see our fruit, and then I think two more back there. They're a bit far away. I can't really give a good description of them from here. But then there's also, hang on, hers I'm gonna float forwards. And I can start to tell them, less than 70 seconds. And right now, Chaco, she's at least looking at one of the fruits. Her looking around and seeing the other fruit. It's the same. They look like apples with dots on them. And that's where Ochako does stop. Her going to at least turn back to the box and float back over completely. Her going to actually grab the false bottom and the pillow, and then actually going to grab the wooden crate's top. Her going to start hearing the door get opened. Her right now actually going to start leap up into the air and increase the weight on her feet. Her going to start falling back into the mirror as she does go to bring everything together like a sandwich. A pillow in between two wooden boards. And then she'll at least bring them over their head and fall back into the mirror. Right now, her going to go back into the mirror world as the moment she does find herself on the other side, she does go to lighten her load a lot more. Her floating in the air, tethered to Mama like a balloon. And currently there actually is inside the vaults, where people they do start to look around. And the person inside they do to express a few things. Tonight is going to be like a ceremony. They go through it every once in a while. They're expecting to bring in millions tonight. However, they're also expecting trouble. Security is on high alert, and that has been quite a lot of things. They definitely need to all remember. Tonight may go as planned, but it may not. It is all part of what they do know. If things go swimmingly, they will all make quite a lot of money. However, if they don't, then they'll certainly, well, let's just say, encounter trouble. Now, the person is going to turn and going to start giving some orders to some people. Them all going to pick up the fruits and going to walk out of the vaults, back to the elevator. Now, currently the person, they do someone going to get ready. And the auction has begun. Right now, one of the fruits being walked into the room, as things do start to look a bit strangely. The person could actually set down the fruit as the people do start to walk in. And the fruits are all set down and the door behind them all is locked. This being where Deku, he does to see a few things happen. The person starts to announce exactly what the fruits are. First up, they have the music fruit, also known as the devil fruit, that allows the ability for the user to turn their entire body into any instrument they believe possible. They believe one of the only applications of this fruit and limit to it may be musical knowledge and prowess with said instruments. While certain instruments are rather barbaric in their way of saying it, like a drum, you don't need to carry tune. The person affected by this only needs to hear the music to be affected. And that does say quite a lot. Some of the people in the other rooms just light up with offers. And everyone, they do start to talk about it. The starting bid on this is 50 million. And from there, they will go up. So, this being where Deku, he does want to stand. Him gonna bring his hand out to his jacket and pulling out a cigar case. And Bako does a turn to Deku, as Deku does gonna open up the cigar case and tell Momo. She can send them through now. Deku bending the entire thing backwards and gonna actually clip it backwards that way. As Bako does gonna see a mirror. And Deku, he doesn't gonna put the case up against the wall, on the table. As currently Momo, she does is gonna turn. Her talking about a few things, as right now she is gonna bring her hands down onto her waist. This being where on the other side, Bako does a turn and look at the mirror. Him hearing a sound is right now the mirror does just spit out a few swords. And Bako is a bit confused. This being where Deku, he actually does a turn. Him grabbing two of them off the table and gonna actually turn and hand them to Bakugo. And Bakugo is a bit more surprised. Swords? I'm sorry, we brought swords to a gunfight? Bakugo, you don't. No, 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 no. I want you to answer that question. We brought swords to a fucking gunfight. There are guys out there armed to the teeth, and you expect swords to help us. Deku gonna turn, and actually, after setting the swords down with his left hand, he's gonna grab one. Him going to actually unsheath it and look directly at Bakugo. Bakugo watching as Deku does a poor hockey directly into the blade. The blade gonna change color as Deku does express. A hot knife through butter. And Bakugo is confused, staring at the blade and thinking about it for a second. Before he does at least turn to the mirror. Through butter. I mean, Deku said that hockey can do quite a lot. It can harm Devil Fruit users. It can create armor, be a sixth sense, and basically be something else, but that third one he doesn't know. So, a hot knife through butter. Can hockey break through bulletproof glass if you use it in a weapon? But he doesn't understand. Why not guns? And Bakugo, he's gonna look back down towards the two swords. Him gonna grab one and trying to attempt what Deku did. And currently the auction is lighting up with offers for the music fruit. But somebody else, they've already alerted their own crew that the Devil Fruits here tonight, they exist. And there's 6 of them. Now, currently we do actually have where Deku, he does sit there. And he does actually have the sword in his left hand, waiting for something to happen. They want to see what they can do. And he's curious. He wants to know how much the fruit goes for. Then there'll be a loud explosion. And none of the buildings are going to shake. They just bring the people inside the room. They do so, going to turn and look around. And things don't look to be going too well. As currently there is where a security glass does a break from the second floor, and the man is going to fall down and smash into the room. Him going to actually look around, and then going to actually turn to the people there. Him going to actually yell orders. Take the devil fruits back to the vault. And that's where Deku is going to turn to Bakugo, telling him about what exactly to do. He's going to take 2 steps backwards as Bakugo is going to move forwards. Him going to unsheath his blade and throw out the blade forwards, slashing directly into the glass and shattering it instantly. And Bakugo is currently to watch, as right now the person who was right next to the devil fruit, they're going to turn their head and see the glass. It being sliced directly through, as currently there is where the person, they do going to try and duck. Them falling backwards as the pedestal the fruit was sitting on is cut in 2. The fruit going to fall onto the ground as the man there is going to leap up into the air. Him watching the slice cut through the entire building and smash into many other of the security glasses. Now, this is where Deku is actually going to jump forwards, smashing through the security glass, as right now there is where him and his group do go into action. And Momo, her and Ochako, they went to go try and find out exactly where this auction was taking place. They're trying to find the mirrors. And the two, they currently do a stand in front of a room and watch. They watch the battle. As currently, more security guards do to jump down from the 2nd story. And Deku does a stand there. Him, right now with the sword, in his hand is Bakugo, he does have 2. And he actually is a lot more impressed. Bullet-proof glass. He sliced through it with a fucking sword. You know, maybe he did speak a little too harshly on these things. Bakugo with a somewhat smile on his face. As the people in charge, they do try to yell to Deku about how exactly he's ruined their auction here tonight. And about how exactly things here are now going to go. They are going to be prosecuted for what they've done. And Deku doesn't understand what that does mean. Tortured and killed. Yeah, how about no? That means where Deku just try to slash at the person. Many of the guards going to leap up into the air, as right now there actually is Mina. And Kirishima already went into action. He merged into the earth, or merged into the building, and has already tried to do a few things. He sealed off the hallway and the door. However the doors are open, there's nothing there. People quite alarmed, as right now there is the security. who they do so good understand. And Bakugo, he actually does try to give chase and fight security. However, there actually is Deku, who's going to turn and yell out that Karashi needs to cover the building. Whoever's here, hold them off. And don't allow them to get to this room. They still need to wait. Him bring his finger up to his ear, asking exactly where the hell they are. And Momo is not going to turn. Her actually going to bring her hand out forwards and actually is not going to touch onto the glass. Right now, one of the mirrors going to ripple like a pond as Mina does a turn. Her seeing that and rushing over. Right now, her actually going to cut into some of the people here, trying to hold onto devil fruits and hide inside the room. As right now, Momo, she does just won't stand there. Her fingers on the doorway, and she's going to yell out for Mina. And Mina's going to turn. Her right now is going to grab a fruit and turn and chuck it at the mirror. The mirror actually having it thrown through, as right now there actually is where Momo is going to bring her hands up. Her going to actually catch onto the fruit and then bring it down into her pocket. Her going to turn. And right now Mina is trying to get the fruits as Deku and Baku are holding off security. But that proved to be rather difficult. As we do actually have Deku. Deku is stand there looking at the, presumably, head guard. And the man is stand there a bit more annoyed. He just has his bare hands, no weapons. And Deku thinks that the man might be a hockey user. So this definitely should be intriguing. And the man is going to step forwards fast. Moving forwards as Deku does bring his hand up. Him going to actually throw up the blades to the person they threw down their arm. Them smashing Doki down with a bit of a hammer. And Deku's quite alarmed. As one of their arm tanks the blow from the sword and isn't scratched or cut. And around Deku doesn't see it. They're using armament hockey as well as some other abilities. And the person, they actually going to leap backwards from Deku to throw out his other fist. Him trying to attack them with his own hockey. The person leaping backwards into the air and going to do a flip. Then going to actually jump forwards in midair and smash Doki outwards for Suzuku. Deku quite alarmed, going to actually turn the blade flat as they smash Doki into it. And there actually is Bakugo. Bakugo is in a bit of a similar boat. Right now the people here, they do get to stand there. And Deku's to watch. But right now the person, they do a rush forwards to try and attack. And their actions for Deku, or Bakugo, is to watch the person bring their hands up and try and throw them outwards. Him can actually try and throw one of the swords outwards to attack and cut off their fingers. As one of the person's fingers, they actually also block into the blade and they go throw out their other hand. Them smashing Bakugo directly in the shoulder as Bakugo feels like he's been shot by a bullet. And around Bakugo, he's moving backwards as he does take a step backwards and rush forwards again. Hey, I'm going to use armament hockey and actually going to try and throw the sword back down. The person watching Bakugo sounded a slash as they do actually going to turn and dodge out of the way. Them moving strangely. And Bakugo is going to watch that. It's cutting into the building as right now there actually is Kirishima. He's holding off the Marines. He's holding off a few people. And some people who do actually have strong abilities. Now, that does mean quite a bit. And right now, there actually is where Bakugo, he does continue his fight. Him would actually try and rush forwards and attack. Him actually trying to actually throw the right sword down as he does throw the left sword out towards the mid-side. The person actually is going to turn and block the sword with their two fingers as he throw down their hand. Them blocking the sword with their forearm as Bakugo, he doesn't look down and see that the person is using hockey on their arm. However, they do actually going to throw their leg forwards, smash it into Bakugo. And Bakugo is sent flying backwards. And there actually is Deku, who is going to rush back in to attack. One of the head guard rushing forwards themselves. And Deku's quite alarmed. Right now them going to actually bring their hands out and try to attack the similar way, using their hands and fingers. And Deku's quite alarmed, especially whenever he does it to watch as someone, they do a rush forwards as well, throwing out their leg forwards. And Deku, he actually just duck underneath that and dodge. Him feeling sparks fly off of their leg, and it felt quite alarming. They're fast, and they're quirked. Him going to turn, spinning the blade around and stabbing it directly upwards into the person's chest. And around Deku, he actually just don't feel the blade stop as the person, they do actually have their hands brought up. The blade right now moving into their body as Deku does a turn. Him just saying that is enough. And sending out some more Conqueror's hockey. And now the person, they do have their grip split as the blade is smash into their heart. Them actually going to cough up blood as he was then going to pull out the blade and look back to the other person. Him gonna try and attack as the person does directly punch him in the face. And Deku, he's alarmed. Him now getting sent flying backwards onto the ground. Him actually gonna start turn and look up. The person already leaping down, smashing their fingers down to the ground, breaking through the concrete as Deku rolled out of the way. Him actually grabbing onto his sword and spinning, slashing upwards into the air as the person leaped backwards and away. And Deku's gonna watch on. Right now the person staring at Deku as he does to watch them bring up their hands, expressing about exactly what they're here for tonight. They are here for security. That was what they were hired for, and they will do so with their very life. That is part of their will. And Deku, he does something to smile. Him actually at least drop the blade as the person is to stare at Deku, who does is going to bring up his hands. And the person they do something to smile. He's finally going to fight on an even playing field. Though with their skill and training, this is hardly even. Now, that's how they do good to view this. But Deku, he is going to rush forwards at amazing speed, and the person is quite alarmed. As Deku, he rushes in and throws out his fist. The person going to bring their hand up, and someone going to actually flex their muscles as Deku does a smash kick into their iron body. Him actually going to throw up his left hand and throw it out forwards. Him right now actually going to speed his arm up, and someone turn part of it into light. The arm moving faster and faster, as it does then going to actually turn it back to normal. The person watching Deku's body, as right now his arm is going to smash into their body and send them flying backwards to the building. Them getting sent flying through the bulletproof glass and out of the room. Now, Deku's then going to turn back, and Bakugo is still having difficulties. Right now he's fighting two people who are working very well in unison, and they're using that weird fucking iron finger technique. And that doesn't make sense to him. Right now he's taking damage, but at the same time a few other things are happening. And there actually is Mina. Mina does a look around the room. Currently they want to go run over to the wall, and they actually try to leap through some of the broken windows to get out of here with the devil fruits. However, Mina rushed over. Her actually going to turn and toss her sword as it smash down into the person's back, them screaming out in pain and dropping one of the fruits. And right now Mina's going to rush over, her bending down and grabbing it as someone is going to rush towards her to attack her. And there actually is Deku, who does a turn and bring out Conqueror's Haki. Him going to actually attack them with the ability, using high levels of it as right now the person, they do so going to freeze and slow down for a second. Them going to freeze as Mina's going to turn, staring back at Deku as Deku's going to tell her, "Get to the freaking mirror!" And Mina's going to do so. We're going to rush back over and leap directly through the mirror. And the person who saw that was quite alarmed. Them trying to at least step forwards towards Mina. However, their body felt like it was covered in tons and tons of weight. Before they at least do a turn, back to Deku, and Deku, here's to stop the ability. Them going to actually step forwards and move fast. And Deku, here's to move forwards himself. Him actually going to turn and toss up his leg and smash them directly up in the face whenever they do try to move fast to him. And Deku just going to smile. As you know, Bakugo, he is still trying to defend and hold off these people. And there actually is a person, they do try to use an ability. Bakugo actually being able to move away from the ability and dodge out of the way. The person throwing out their fingers as Bakugo to throw up his sword, smashing it in the side of their face. Him cutting into it and actually hitting them in part of the ear. And the person, they do scream in pain as Bakugo does a rush forwards, smashing his fist directly up into their throat as they do so collapse into the ground. Bakugo taking the opportunity, spinning and turning and slashing off their head. As the other person, they do so going to stand at a distance. Then we're going to get ready, bending down, and actually so going to step forwards fast, putting back their hands to try and attack with their hands, using their fingers to send out a full force attack. And Bakugo is going to get ready. Him are going to turn and now bring his arm up, and try and use his weapon to try and predict where they're going to move. However, the person, they actually are struck by Bakugo's blade as Bakugo is struck directly in his shoulder where the person wanted to hit him, disabling his arm as Bakugo, he lets go of the blade he struck them with. Him flying backwards and smashing onto the empty table. And right now he does at least going to turn and look to at the person. Him feeling damage, as you know his Haki, it can't keep up. Bakugo's body is putting him through a lot of shit. And right now Bakugo, he's running out of energy. He's burning through his goddamn Haki too fast. And Bakugo isn't going to sit there. Him breathing heavily as he's going to feel blood pouring from a wound. And there actually is where Bakugo, he does stand there. Him trying to get back onto his feet and step forwards. The person walking was Bakugo. expressing about how he just killed their best friend. And they are not going to tolerate this being spike is falling backwards and up into their back. Them actually so I'm going to look down as Reno Kirishima hears them manifest into the room. Him going to get out of the concrete as a person, they just sit there on the spike in their heart. Them bring their hands down and actually trying to grab onto it. Them starting to break the concrete as there actually is, or there's a crumble in their hands. Before, they just don't gonna let go. Them having their legs go limp as they fall backwards further on that spike and down. Now, Bakugo, he's quite alarmed. And there actually is Deku. Deku's to look around the room. Him confused. As there actually is the mirrors that ripple like water, and a voice is to tell them, "Get out of there now! Backup is on the way." And that is right now where the three do to rush towards the mirror and the Marines. They finally do to cut in and get further into the building. The place seemed like a maze. The place kept shifting and turning on them. And somebody here must have been a devil fruit user. They were getting attacked over and over and over again. And that certainly does mean quite a lot of things. Now, we currently do have over in the Yayurozu Hotel, where everyone, they're somewhat licking their wounds. Deku actually encountered some damage, and his nose is bloody. Along with that, he actually was quite surprised by how powerful the guard was. Though using his abilities, he was able to come out ahead. Izuku, he was definitely quite surprised. Were those quirks? Or no, other people used similar abilities. He saw two different people using that finger technique, and the guard he fought used the same thing. So it's something that you can learn. Though, it's quite impressive. Right now, Deku is going to turn to Bakugo. And Bakugo currently does have Mina patching up his shoulder. Her is going to comment on exactly how the fuck he got this wound. I'll be fine. Though you should see the other guy. Huh. I did see him. Huh? Yeah, your lucky Kirishima saved your ass. I could have handled it. Yeah, you could have. Sure. Right now, Mina is going to look back towards Deku. And talking about it. So exactly what now? And Deku does look around the room. As he's going to walk over to the table and look at the fruits they got. 3 out of 6. 50% of the fruits. They were able to recover the Mirror fruit, the one they already had. Then they recovered a strange mushroom fruit. Have to look into that. And then they got another fruit. Degu's going to turn, bring his hand down and grabbing onto it. A fucking smile fruit. Why do they have smiles? God damn. He hates these damn things. Well, this one's useless, so... They probably pawn it for cash. I'm going to turn and look at Ochako. He could give it to her, but she probably doesn't even know what a smile fruit is. And that is a bit of a problem. Bakugo is going to stand up. And I'm going to step forwards. Okay. Now, exactly what the hell's going on? What? Why haven't you given us a fruit yet? Me, Mina, any of us. What about that one right there? Bakugo, do you really want to try a smile fruit? A what? It's an artificial devil fruit. Man-made. And guess what? Deku actually going to bring up his other hand, grabbing it by the stem before he's going to bring up his finger gun. Him blasting a smile away as Bakugo, he does stare at Deku quite alarmed. And right now, everyone in the room, they think Deku just destroyed a devil fruit. As Deku, he uses a turn. Him going to actually grab the other fruit. Bakugo yelling for Deku not to do that. As Deku just doesn't tell Bakugo. He wasn't. Though, look at this. Actual devil fruit. And he's going to turn around. Him setting it back down, as right now they're actually going to walk around. Him going to actually grab an apple as he'll hold it up. And Bakugo does stare at that kind of confused. Before Deku's going to tell him. He destroyed a devil fruit. Any idea what that does mean? Wait a minute. Artificial don't get reborn. Natural ones do. That one was artificial, Bakugo. Besides, as funny as it would probably be to see your head get stuck up a gorilla's ass, I kinda don't want to deal with that. Right now, Bakugo gonna turn. And look at Ochako. Got something to say? No, you're just stupid. Fuck you. Let him explain, because I want to hear about this too. I'm curious. Right now, Deku's gonna lean backwards and talk about it. Smile fruits are unpredictable. As far as he knows, they don't appear to be like elemental fruits, like Logia. Though, the actual devil fruits are a lot more powerful. Smiles are a close second. From what he's heard and researched, they don't really know too much about them. Though they are kind of like a Pandora's box. They're random. What? What do you mean random? Bakugo, some turn out good, some don't. If you're lucky, you'll turn part animal. If you're not, that animal will turn part you. What? I explained it before, Bakugo. Remember those experiments I talked about? The 10% chance of it working properly? I do now that you mention it. Yeah. Smile fruits. You'd practically go insane taking one. And even if they do work, you don't know how long you'll be sane. Or be, a slave to animal instincts. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor by not giving you it. Now, I want us to stare at Deku. And Deku does express. As good as the abilities might be, the drawbacks and sometimes the, change doesn't always turn out well. If Bakugo wanted to wind up with his head up a gorilla's ass, then hey, he won't stop him the next time. It would also be funny to watch as he's left there helplessly screaming like with a bird trying to peck his fucking head off. Or maybe a bear trying to eat his face. How about that? Does that sound fun to Bakugo? Because he thinks it would sound funny on their side. But for him, that would just be hell. And Bakugo doesn't want to sit there. Him trying to imagine what abilities he can get from my smile fruits. However, he does take what Deku said into consideration. If he got a lion, then... Or, no, what if he got... Ugh. Now, Deku does see it finally at least dawn on Bakugo's face. He tells the truth. And Deku, he is at least going to turn. I'm going to grab the music fruit and turn and toss it out towards Ochako. And Ochako is going to turn her head. Her rubbing her hands at catching the fruit, and I look down at it. Huh? Wait a deal. What? Right now, Bakugo is going to look towards Deku. And Deku's going to turn back to Ochako. I said you get to sell one of the fruits. Take that one. We already know what it does, and I want to at least look into that one more. You're joking. No. Take it back to your room. Tomorrow morning, we'll turn me in and we'll see what the new bounty is posted at. You were serious about that? I am. I keep my words. Deku turns to Bakugo. And Bakugo just sit there silently. Huh. Yeah. He's anything if not honest. That's what he hates about this guy. He can almost trust him. No, he can't do that. Never give someone full trust. Never again. Then in Bakugo's mind. And right now Deku does a turn back towards Ochako. And Ochako does express. She'll put this somewhere safe. I bet you will. Though, if this is my last night of freedom, how about we all party like fucking rock stars? Now, I want us to watch Deku. I'm going to walk over to the phone and pull it off of the line. Him, going to bring it up to his ear, as he's at least dial for room service. And, right now, Deku, he knows he's going to hear someone on the other end of the line. Hello? Hi, I'm in suite number 3. Yes, I have your information right here. And do you need something important? Yes, actually. If you wouldn't mind, can you get me a fuck ton of alcohol and a lot of junk food? Sweets, preferably. Um, alrighty. Anything else? Preferences? A little bit of everything. Also, if you can get to me within the next 30 minutes, there's $3,000 in it for whoever brings it. The person's gonna hang up. And our duckers doesn't ask, hello? Well, that was enough encouragement. I'm gonna hang up. And at least at a turn, expressing, well, alrighty. If this is gonna be his final hoorah, then how about they all at least have fun and party like they're actual friends? Now, Bakuto is gonna laugh, and that actually is Ochako, who someone does a smile. This might be a trap. I mean, it's definitely an idea. And currently, everybody, they do something to sit there. Mina sitting there with a cat on her lap, as she at least does get a turn on the TV. Her wanting to hear about anything that might have happened. And there actually is a status on what happened with the devil fruits earlier tonight. And that has been quite a lot. There are descriptions of the thieves and people who came here tonight. And they've actually been able to use surveillance to track down who they were. They got descriptions of people entering that building, and the descriptions people gave match the ones the Marines have. So, they have Izuku Midoriya, Bakugo Katsuki, Mina Ashito, and Ejiro Kirishima. And that has been quite a lot. They were able to look up their records and find their bounties. And currently, they have definitely been increased because they were heard to have taken 3 different types of fruit. And that's been quite a lot. 2 actual devil fruits and a smile. So, there's been quite a bit. Plus, they were actually able to take down some people who were using some rather odd abilities, as the government is going to say. Them trying to cover something up. Now, Reno Ochako does not turn her head. Her staring at the TV as a few minutes to go to pass by. And they do get to hear about the bounties being posted up. Currently, Deku's, it's been increased by a large margin. They believe that him to be the leader. He was already seen as a very, very dangerous man. Fact of the matter is, he took down the Familia already. And then, he was able to steal 2 devil fruits from an actual underground auction. And he had hired help, or at least people on his side. And Deku's bounty, it went up to about 17 million. And that was quite alarming. But there actually was Bakugo's, Kirishima's, and Mina's. Bakugo's is at a steady 10 million, along with the other 3, or the other 2. And that does seem quite alarming to them. However, they're also at least trying to talk about a few things. They believe that somebody had abilities that allowed them to escape the facility. And this is as of yet not confirmed. However, there is sufficient of evidence to show it is such. Marines did not see individuals leaving the location. However, they did see the individuals head inside. And right now the bounties are currently going to be posted soon. Now, right now everyone, they do see the pictures pop up. It showing that both Bakugo and Deku are wanted, along with Kirishima and Mina. And that does mean quite a lot of things. And it actually does make Deku somewhat smirk, along with Bakugo. Though Bakugo, he is concerned. He knows that his bounty is relatively low. There are some people who did want him dead, though he's wondering how high it will be this time. I mean, last time he checked, what was his bounty again? Not even, what was it, 5 grand that one time, then there was 20 grand, and shit. Okay, maybe he does need a drink. Right now, Bakugo gonna stand. I'm gonna walk over and at least somewhat agree on Deku with a few things. Since if they're gonna be partying, they're gonna party like things are going to end tomorrow. And right now, let's cut to tomorrow. As Deku does wake up in his own bed. Him, right now with the light glaring into his face. And Deku's going to bring his hand up. him covering his eyes and trying to think about what happened. Last night feels like a blur. He just remembers partying, drinking, and shit. What else happened? There was that talk with Ochako and god damn, why is his head so oh. Deku gonna sit up. And right now he just try to at least remember where he's at. And currently Deku, he does feel a bit strange. His gut feels heavy. And Deku just gonna bring his hand down. Him right now putting it down to his side and going to turn his head turn his head feeling something. As right now Momo does lie there. Her asleep and passed out. And Deku, he does want to stare at her. Him going to actually turn to his right to climb out of bed. However, to his right is Chaco. Okay, it seems like they took that party aspect a little too literal. Right now, Deku can climb out of bed. Him going to look around and actually find his shirt. Him going to grab it, Ajin is going to slide it on. And then he's going to check his sweatpants to see if he's still. Wait, no. He didn't have. Okay, so after. Okay, so after someone vomited on him, he took a shower and changed. And okay, so how did these three get here exactly? Oh shit, they all blacked out. Lendek's mind. And Renodeka isn't going to turn, looking back to the two. He still has his clothes. And that's good. And now he is going to somewhat pull back the blanket more. And their actions are someone is going to stir. Them going to actually somewhat shift around, and Deku is going to watch them. As right now, Momo does a turnover, and someone going to make a bit of a noise. And Deku, he does someone going to turn and walk out of the room. There's a lot going through his mind right now. He partied like he was going to lose his freedom. I mean, yeah, definitely nice. Though he needs something for his headache. Him walking out into the living room. And Deku does a look around. Bottles scattered about, and who's that on the couch? Deku walking over. Ajino Baku's legs, they are over the side of the couch, or the back of the couch. And Deku, he does going to bring his hand up. Him going to actually grab Baku by the leg, and he's not going to shift him around. And Baku, he does going to try and look up. Him trying to jump up and sit up, as he doesn't do so. Him going to fall backwards, smashing his head against the table. Him then rolling onto the table and smashing onto it before he finally does at least go to stand up. Him going to look around confused as he's gonna fall over. Huh? Holy shit. You fucking startled me, dude. Hey, what happened last night? Huh? I don't remember. Are you still drunk? I think so. What day is it? I don't know. I don't really know. Though, where's the other two? Now, Dick a look around, and not as I turn his head and think. As I stare at the table and the devil fruit's not there. Shit. Now, Deku and Baku, they do somewhat start to look around. After Deku mentioned the devil fruit was not there, Baku sobered up a little bit more. And currently the two, they do try to look around. And they don't find the music fruit. They are trying to find that other freaking fruit, but shit. This being where Bakugo, he finally has to find it. Him going to open up the fridge and pull it out. Him is going to yell for Deku. And currently two people come walking out of the bedroom. Reno Mina, her somewhat surprised, as she is actually somewhat going to walk inside. Her asking everyone if they remember anything about last night. And right now Deku's going to turn his head to look over towards Ochako and Momo. The two, their hairs kinda messed up. And they're both, at least, grabbing at their heads, somewhat surprised. Since no one really remembers what happened. and it is somewhat concerning. Though Ochako is more concerned about the devil fruit right now, and the fact that she was supposed to have left last night. Though that's a bit odd. Now, currently Deku, he's looking around and trying to find the other fruit, but they can't find it. And there actually is where someone needed to run over to the cart. That does still have the alcohol and food on it. And Deku, he does turn his head after Bakugo. He's the one that let out a bit of a sound. And I'm gonna back away from the cart and pushing it. What the fuck is that? Now, this is where Deku's gonna turn his head. Him watching something run across the ground, and he actually does a turn, bringing out his finger getting ready. And there actually is where the thing is gonna run directly around the corner and jump up towards Deku. It's going to actually grab onto his arm as Deku. He does get a stare at. What the? A feline kid? No, wait. Kids with quirks like this, they're super rare. I mean, that's a full on cat person. Now, I want to stare at the cat, and Deku stares at it as well. He has one idea as to what might have happened. The stupid mushroom fruit, or whatever it is. And another thing does someone start to purr. And Bakugo, he's yelling about what the fuck that is. He doesn't at least hold up a knife. And Deku does a turn to Bakugo, trying to tell him to calm down. And now he at least does it to bring up his arm as the cat does somewhat gonna flinch. Deku going to actually pat it on the head as it does start to purr more. And actually it's gonna climb up and onto Deku's shoulder. And Deku, he does get to stare at it. Okay. Guys? What is that? Seriously, what the fuck is that thing? Deku turned to all of them. I'm gonna just look around. Eventually they do find that freaking fruit. However, they find it with bites taken out of it. And that is not good. And Deku, he does try to look it up more. Him currently sitting there with a bottle of pills for his headache and a massive cup of coffee. And he does finally go to find it. From what he can find, this thing is called the human fruit? What the hell does that do? And that is currently the question. Now, it's kind of concerning to him. I mean, he's alarmed. This thing is his cat. And his cat, oh god, last night he must have. Who forgot to put away the fruit? Hmm? Don't look at me. I'm not saying nothing. It was all you, man. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Now, things are turn to the cat. And the cat is actually going to open its mouth. It's going to vocalize. And everyone is going to turn to it. It's going to open its mouth again. And try to speak. And right now it does say one simple word. Fuck. Now. Sorry, I found that super funny. With that being said, currently everybody, did you just want to look at the cat? It just spoke. Okay. That's a bit odd. I'm all gonna step forwards and express. She's actually heard of a phenomenon like this before. There are rumors that go around, but they seem like legends and myths. They date back to ancient times, but there was said to be shape-shifting creatures before. And, well, she remembers this one rumor of a reindeer back over in America. They believed it to be an ancient creature, but this might be what happens whenever an animal eats the fruit. It takes on a human-like form, and that does somewhat going to concern everyone. I mean, there's one way to get the fruit back, and, well, if what they understand about this fruit is correct, it's not really that useful. I mean, it is a devil fruit, but it's meant for non-humans? It just doesn't make sense. So if you eat the fruit, do you get the ability to shapeshift into animals? That's a little weird. Though weird's not even beginning to cover what just happened here tonight, or this morning, today, in the last 24 hours. The entire thing is fucking weird. Now, Deku, he does want to plan a few things out. And Crane the cat doesn't want to sit there. It with a slice of cake in front of it, and currently going to eat. However, there actually is Deku, who he does is going to bring his hand down and grab his own fork. The cat going to turn its head and watch Deku, who does currently go to actually use a fork to slice the cake and eat it. Now, the cat is going to turn its head, looking around and actually going to jump over towards Izuku. It's going to actually bring its hand down and point at the thing in his hand. And Deku's a bit more confused. Him going to actually turn and hold it up before going to do the exact same thing. And the cat is going to look around. It's going to actually leap over to the counter and walk across. Going to look into the sink and grabbing a fork. It's going to actually turn and walk back over. It's going on all fours and leaping back over to the chair where it was. And at least going to stare at the thing in its hand and then going to turn back to Izuku. And Deku's going to watch. It's learning. Now, everyone that you go to watch on, as currently the animal is going to mimic Deku's movements. It mimics what he does. It tries to clumsily eat with a fork, not its hands. And that's honestly kind of a little weird to look at. Now, everyone, they're trying to figure this all out. They have to change their plans up a bit. Deku still does have the plan to go to Impel Down this morning. And that does mean quite a lot. And currently, we do at least have where Deku, he is at least going to look around the room. Him making the plan and telling everybody about what is going to be happening. And Ochako's quite intrigued. Deku has a plan to go to Impel Down. He's still going to do this. He still gave her the devil fruit. He still gave her trust. I mean, it's a little odd. Though, the conversation last night, it's still a bit hazy in her mind. Now, we do actually have probably about 2 or 3 hours later, where Deku, he had to apply his makeup, quote unquote. And things, they are currently where they're supposed to be. As Ochako, she currently is to get out of the car. Her grabbing onto Deku and dragging him out. And some people are going to turn their heads staring directly at her. As you know, some of the Marines, they do rush over and see Ochako pull a man out of a car who's injured. And many of them, they usually at least bark orders to her to stand down and stay where she is. But Ochako, she's at least going to throw down Deku. Her at least expressing, she's here to claim a bounty. And everyone they do is going to look at Deku. Some of them have seen him from the news this morning, and some are alarmed. This chick took down this guy. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. And some of them just don't get to see her face. She's a little beaten up, but I mean, she'll recover. Though that guy looks pretty fucked up, and it's kind of concerning to some of them. And Deku, he's brought inside, and Ochako, she does go through a bit of a process. She gets an account set up, she gets a number for the account, and then a routing number for whenever they might be able to deposit the 17 million into her bank. And that does mean quite a lot. And Deku, he is taken away. Right now him, someone halfway conscious, and muttering to himself. And some of the people here, they're curious to know exactly how she might have done this. But she does try to express. She found the guy pretty fucked up in an alleyway. And all she needed was a good, nice smack with a lead pipe. And she got his ass. He wasn't expecting to be ambushed. He already seemed to be in a daze. And that is what surprised them. Somebody actually was able to get this guy. And it's one more criminal off the streets. And Deku, he's given a fair trial. No, the fuck he isn't. Now, Deku, after his supposed trial, quote unquote, he does get sentenced to impel down, and that does mean quite a lot. And currently Deku, he does sit there in the transport. A few things going through his mind. Some of the people here, they're quiet. He's one of them. Some of the people here, they do sit there worried, nervous, and concerned. Some of them are crying, and some of them, they are a bit more worried. Though some are overconfident. They don't know what to expect, but they've broken out of prisons before. But impel down, it could be their finest fucking achievement. Their golden goose. Break out of that place and you're a legend. You go down as a legend. Join the handful who've escaped. Become somebody no one would want to cross. And that's been quite a lot. And currently Deku does sit there. His face calm. And he's quiet. And someone has at least tried to ask Deku about that, since he's the only guy in the transport who's not either shaking with nervousness or excitement, or with the idea of getting out, or he's not crying. And Deku, he doesn't stand there. Them arriving on the island as Deku's gonna walk out. Him seeing the massive walls, and he's gonna see the guard towers, hearing the ocean and smelling the salt. And Deku, he actually does look up. It's a nice bright day. And Deku, he's quite happy about all of that. However, currently there are some guards, who they do to step up and express to many of the prisoners about what's happening. As right now the prisoners, they have their clothes torn off of them, and they are then unchained. And the guards do express about processing, about how all of them are going to have a baptism by fire, or boiling hot cauldron. And that does mean quite a lot. They are here because they are some of the worst people on the goddamn planet. They expected the world to not hand them anything, so they decided to take it. Though, this is going to be their eternal punishment. They're quite happy to know where some of these people might go. And it will definitely be intriguing. We're now going to walk up and stare directly at Deku. And Deku's going to stand there, his face stone cold solid, and not saying a word. And the person's gonna walk right up to him. My, if it isn't the one I heard took a devil fruit last night. Got nothing to say, boy? Deku's shaking his head no. And the person's gonna bring up their hand, expressing, grabbing him by the face. They wanted an answer. When they speak to him, they expect to be spoken back to. And they don't want him to speak any other time. Does he understand that? Yes. Ooh, so there is a voice in there somewhere. For a second I thought someone carved out your goddamn tongue. They didn't. They tried, but I didn't want a question, boy. I wanted an answer. So, I've heard about you. Lucky little bastard, ain't ya? Stole devil fruits. Huh. Made some people's shit list. What was your bounty? 20 million? 25? 50? I hope it was 50. 17. Ah, that means you're on E block. That's first floor. Though it is still fun. Might come around and see you from time to time. Try and hear the stories. I'm curious, was it true about that little rumor I heard? The Davy back fight? Game. Excuse me? The person bringing up their hand, smashing Deku in the gut as he's looking to kill over in pain. And Deku just tried to keep his focus. He has to keep his goddamn focus. Otherwise things, they're gonna really hurt. Now, the person expresses, Deku being pulled back to his feet and thrown forwards into line again. They wanted to know what happened. They don't want a correction. They wanted him to just answer yes or no on that. And Deku is going to tell them, yes, the rumor's true. And the person's going to turn. They're going to walk down the line as Deku does a step forwards. And hear more and more people screaming. Before things, they feel hotter. Things feel stranger. And Deku, here's a watch. Right now him standing at the front of the line, watching multiple men being pushed off and shoved into a giant pot. And Deku's alarmed. Boiling hot water. Baptism by fire. No. Okay, he needs to escape. Deku is trying to turn his head. I noticed someone that you can see that Deku, he finally had it dawned in his head exactly what this place might be. This place is hell manifested on Earth, and they want the prisoners to know that. This is the way of keeping things nice and sanitary. So, Deku, he does have a few choices. Try to run and probably end up on a worse level. Try and get away from his shackles. Yeah, that'll definitely be quite fun. Now, Deku, he does just stand there. And right now, after him and other people, they are pushed inside, Deku, he is going to turn his head and try and figure out what to do. Right now, he's about to be thrown in a giant pot of hot water with a bunch of other people. And Deku has one thing going through his mind. He can't swim. And that does concern him. Right now, Deku's smashing into the water and feeling it blister his skin. Feel it burn. He feels the heat and intensity of it. And Deku does start to sink. He can't activate his powers. And right now there actually is a massive knot in his leg. Deku is going to scream out and feel the water pour into his mouth. Now, Deku does throw his hand out. I'm going to grab onto somebody as right now he does a dangle onto their leg and try and pull himself up. Deku trying to grab at any skin he can, clawing into their body. As right now Deku, he can feel himself losing more and more strength. He feels himself weakening, and things don't feel right in his body. He has a massive knot in his leg. He can't keep it intangible, and that's the main problem. The leg is broken. He can't move, and Deku has to try and hang on for dear life, clutching onto the person as he actually grab onto their shoulder, him pulling himself up and actually to gasp for air, as Rana decides to scream out in just pure agony. And many people are screaming as well. Before prisoners, they're being pulled out. And Deku, while he is at least trying to hold on to the person for dear life, they're trying to knock him off of them. They're screaming out in pain and anger, and their adrenaline is overflowing. Now, Deku is then pulled out. Right now, him being thrown onto the ground and smashing down. Right now, Deku having a massive knot in his leg as he does at least remain calm and focused, drenched in the water. And Deku, he does sit there, him feeling somebody throw something down onto his body. Sense is the only other thing he can feel than the blistering pain. And Deku, he actually does a turn. Him going to actually grab onto his prison uniform and being told to put it on. And Deku does do so. He does feel himself dry off a bit more, be covered in less and less water. And whenever Deku can, while he's limping in line, he doesn't make his leg intangible. He was shackled up again, and right now, after surviving processing, he's taken to his cell, and he's given his prison number, E9837. And with that being said, Deku, he currently finds himself in hell. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully the audio is still good on this version, because if not, I'm going to be a little mad because I keep recording hour-long episodes for this one.